my friends, it is officially the first Tuesday in May, which means that yesterday was the first Monday in May, which means that the Met Gala took place. Now, I will be releasing a video talking about the Bezoses being sponsors of the event, the protests that took place, the celebrities literally like melting down, wiping their crocodile tears about the Bezoses being involved with their millions and millions of dollars because they're also part of the 1%. Anyway, I'm going to be talking about that, but I did want to dedicate an entire episode to the fashion because I was trying to incorporate that into the other video and it just got longer and longer and longer and longer. So I decided that we should just do a separate one. So that is what we are doing here today. Now, I posted about this on my Instagram, but I do have to come clean because in the episode that I filmed yesterday, I was just having one of those days. The baby has been waking up like every 2 hours. I had no desire to try to look nice, so I was wearing this like oversized Free People schleppy shirt. I'm like surprised that my mom did not text me and say, "What are you wearing?" But because I'm critiquing fashion today, I'm trying a bit harder. So I rented this like Cult Gaia shirt from Rent the Runway. It felt appropriate. Anyway, let's dive into this. So the theme for this year's Met Gala was fashion is art. So I pulled up a description of that here. Gala gawkers, that's me, gala gawkers can expect to see the bodies treated as works of art and garments paying homage to famous paintings and sculptures. So basically my read on this theme was that it could either be, you know, these really elaborate outfits that are pieces of art in and of themselves, which I mean, all fashion, unless it's like a Temu dress, of course, is, a form of art, but something that is maybe sculptural or crazy or innovative and very artistic in and of itself, or like this article said, is paying homage to a different piece of art, is trying to translate a famous piece of art into a fashion sense. Anyway, that was my take on this. And so I want to show you guys just a TikTok. This is kind of like an overview of some of the choices that people made. And then we are going to get into my favorites and my least favorites. And then at the very end, we have a treat because we did finally find the most oppressed person in America. Unsurprisingly, she was at the Met Gala. All right, so again, that TikTok was just kind of a teaser. I wanted to put us all on a level playing field. Again, fashion is art. You saw a couple examples there and the things that they were taking from art history as inspiration. So that is what we are dealing with today. Now, in regards to the Met Gala, I feel like there are usually two categories. There are people who really fit the theme. They go all out. Like this is stuff that they would never wear at the Oscars that you probably would not even see on a runway. It's so outlandish and crazy, but it really fits with whatever the theme is, whether it is fashion is art or whatever the like animatronic, like there was some like robot thing a few years ago or camp, whatever that meant. That was just like insane. And then there are people who just look lovely. And they might fit the theme, but they look beautiful. Like they look great. It's a good PR move for them. The photos are lovely. They present themselves well. And I do find that it is rare for people to do both. Like people either go so far with the theme or they play it safe and they just wear a nice dress. They're just, showing up and walking the carpet. But I do think that there were three this time in my mind that did succeed to reach both of those categories. So my best dress of the entire night was not some big Hollywood celebrity, was not a fashion designer. It was actually a YouTuber. It was the girl that I grew up watching on YouTube who actually inspired me. Like her videos inspired the way that I created comment section and the editing style. It was Emma Chamberlain, who now she kind of scares me, to be honest. Like I don't even recognize her anymore, especially her fashion sense is just a bit out there for me. But she was the very first person on the carpet because she always does interviews for Vogue. So she walked first and then she stands up at the top and talks to people and they're really cute. But she took inspiration from Van Gogh and Edvard Munch's paintings, I believe, like their style of painting. She looked insane. And I feel like she definitely got a tip about what the red carpet and the steps were going to look like because she just fits so perfectly. The dress is insane. It looks like it is literally brushstrokes all over her body. It's beautiful. I hate that kind of makeup and I don't love her hair. Again, it just kind of scares me. I feel like she's like staring into my soul. So I don't love that aspect of it, but just like kind of cutting off her head there and just looking at the dress. I mean, she looked amazing. She ate down. The dress was iconic. I also loved Gracie Abrams. I also just love her as a singer and a performer. But apparently with her dress, she was paying homage to the painter Gustav Klimt. This specifically is the painting that they were pulling from. I think her dress is just stunning. Like it kind of looks Egyptian in a way. It's regal, it's beaded, it's sparkly. She looks stunning. I appreciate, even though she kind of has like some like Ozempic hollowedness to her face, which I feel like just every celebrity does right now. Like she does not have the weird raccoon eyes, which is great. And I'm probably also partial to this look because I do just like Klimt as a artist. I love that he has that famous painting, The Kiss. So anyway, I loved that one. Now I also loved tech entrepreneur. Her name is Mona Patel. She walked the carpet. Her dress was inspired by Da Vinci and the Vitruvian Man. I had no idea who this woman was. This might have been her first time at the Met and she just absolutely crushed it. But this dress, I mean, guys, it is just stunning. So those are the three that I loved. I thought that they actually looked beautiful, like they could walk a red carpet in this and it would be, you know, exceptional and lovely. It fit them really well. And they also, in my opinion, were very on theme. But more importantly, obviously, because it's the first Tuesday in May, I need to tell you about the looks that I hated. And there were so many of them. And I do have to say, many of the looks that I hated coincided with people that I don't like, so it was kind of perfect. All right, so we're gonna start with Karlie Kloss. Now, I really don't have any feelings about Karlie Kloss, so this is not, you know, me being inspired by not liking her, but you just need to see this dress. So somebody posted this video and said, it is giving nutsack. And unfortunately, that's not an inaccurate description. Now, if that is, you know, too much of an inappropriate descriptor for you, if you love dairy like me, then this might be more up your alley. But somebody commented and said, she looks like mozzarella, which she really does. Like, regardless, she was certainly looking balls directly in the eye. If you know, you know. It's like a whole meme from the time that she walked the red carpet for camp at the Met Gala. Anyway, moving on from that, moving on to my next thing, Heidi Klum. Heidi Klum, I don't even know. She was taking inspiration from a sculpture, The Veiled Maiden, but she didn't just take inspiration, she became the bust. And that kind of feels like cheating to me. Like the designer was just like, here you are going to be the sculpture, which is cool in and of itself. But if you're trying to merge fashion and art and take inspiration from it and, you know, make something that is sculptural, but is not an actual sculpture where her face is not like fully covered by plaster or plastic, whatever is happening here. Like, again, this just feels like the easy way out. But also, who's surprised? It's Heidi Klum. She hosts the most famous Halloween party in America, in Hollywood. It's always the most insane out-of-pocket thing. She's like worming on the red carpet as like a caterpillar, whatever weird thing she did a few years ago. So not surprised. A lot of people are saying, oh, it's so amazing. She took it so seriously. It just felt like the easy way out, in my opinion. Next on my shit list was the star of the TV show I Love LA. I don't even know what to say about this. I don't know what the inspiration was. There's a lot going on here that I really hate. I almost want to say it's like straight out of some kid's show. It's like a Blue's Clues freaking looking outfit. It's just so odd, weird colors, looks animated. I don't even have words, so we're just gonna move on from that, but that was an assault on my eyes. So next up on the shit list, we have Cardi B looking like the fatty tumor that we surgically removed from my old dog Ollie before he died. That is all I have to say about that. Next, we have a trio of red dresses that really sent me into orbit, like I was on a Blue Origin flight. And it was really like all of these designers hated the women that they were dressing. And it's interesting that they were all in red dresses. I love a red dress. I feel like red is like a slimming, sexy, fun color. These dresses are none of those things. So this was an assault on the women wearing them, assault on my eyes, and an assault on the color red. So first of all, Lena Dunham. Lena Dunham. Somebody posted this and said, Mrs. Snuffleupagus, which is really perfect. Also, what are those shoes? Again, are we in 2012? Why do we have the studs? Why is it up your ankle in that way? Why do you have bruises on your legs? Can I offer you some lotion, some pantyhose to cover it up? Like, this is just not, it's not working. Nothing about this is working. And also, if you saw it from the side, it was just like, oh. So anyway, that's the first red dress. I feel like I really hammered it on Lena Dunham, but it's Lena Dunham. She kind of deserves it. Anyway, moving on. Now, this one did hurt my soul a little bit because I do love this girl, and we all fell in love with her over the Winter Olympics, and then I saw her on the red carpet, and I was like, what? Why did this person do this to America's Sweetheart? So this is Alyssa Liu, American Sweetheart. She is the Olympic gold medalist, and they put her in this. Again, what era are we in? Like, this is the kind of dress that I wanted to wear to homecoming in 2015. The shoes are weird. It's like the waist is too high, but maybe also too low. Like, it's like it either needs to be like right up at the boobs or like at her actual waist. It just does nothing. And obviously she has her striped hair, which is very cool, but I feel like maybe we could have leaned into that edginess. It seems like her hair is very out of place here. Like, they really didn't think about her and what she represents and her personality and her actual style. It's like they just pulled this off the rack again from like 2015 homecoming. What's that brand that everybody would wear to homecoming and prom? Not Sally something. Oh my gosh, let me look it up. Sherry Hill. Sherry Hill. I guarantee there is a red high-low dress on Sherry Hill that one of you out there wore to prom or homecoming, and now it is on the Met Gala red carpet, and that is an assault. It is a betrayal to Alyssa Liu. She deserved better. Now, in keeping with the red dresses and athletes, this was also an atrocity. This is Serena Williams. there is so much wrong here. I don't know why I am seeing your booty cheeks. Also, she's wearing Louboutins, which have the red bottoms, and I think that she thought maybe it would work with the red dress, but the dress with all the sequins, it photographs orange. So she has orange and red, and then it just looks cheap. Like we see the inside, we see the entirety of the inside of your dress, and it's like hemmed kind of odd, and the inside looks like cheap fabric. It's every part of this is just weird. It feels a little bit too tight. Like if you're going to cinch yourself into a dress, like really like yank it tight, you know, you're sucking in so that you can get it up, you want to look slim and chic, you should not have cutouts on the back. Like I think that's just a lesson for all of us women to consider. If it's going to be slim, think about what could be spilling out over the top. That's not saying that you look bad. That's not saying, oh, you're fat, whatever. That's just, if you want the slimming effect, maybe it should be slimmed all over. This was, again, betrayal. I think that this designer might hate her. Straight to jail. I don't even know if she had a designer. Like, honestly, it looks like she picked this up at Fashion Nova on the way to go clubbing in Hotlanta, to be honest. So I'm done. All right, now, another notable look that I feel like might be relevant for you guys, you might be interested in, was Rachel Zegler's. Now, this look was inspired by Lady Jane Grey and the art that was surrounding her execution, which you can see here. There's a famous oil painting, The Execution of Lady Jane Grey. And this was really interesting to me. Now, I don't love the dress. Like the corset in the front is a bit odd. It looks sort of like wedding dress, but like it's on backwards and a bit cheap. It's like the style of wedding dress that I don't really love. No offense, but just my own personal style. So that's what she is wearing. But what I think is more interesting is the message behind her choice of this painting and this inspiration, because it seems like she was trying to make a statement about her career and her controversies. And so I obviously, because I've commented on all of them and I was, inserted in them at one point, I think that it is relevant that I talk about it. But as a teenager, Lady Jane Grey, who was a real person, was executed in the 1500s, I think the early 1500s, as a scapegoat for the Protestant rebellion that her father was leading. So it was this Protestant uprising. The crown, the government was threatened by it. The Catholic government was threatened by it. And as I understand it, this young woman, I think that she was 17 at the time, she refused to convert to Catholicism, and people kind of made her a figurehead for the movement that her father had started. And so as a result, she and her husband were publicly executed. They were used as an example, and her father was executed just a couple of days later, but she was executed to make a statement. And I think her choosing to have this piece of art in the story be the inspiration for her look was maybe pointing to what happened to her with Disney and Snow White. And even though I do think that as an individual, she is insufferable and she deserves a lot of what came to her just because of her attitude about everything, I do think that her maybe connecting to the story is fair. Because, we have that now infamous video about her, talking on the red carpet with Gal Gadot, she's not gonna fall for the prince. Oh, no, she's not gonna fall for, she's not chasing love. She's chasing female empowerment, whatever it is, really, snubbing the original Snow White, the story of love and romance, all of the things. To be fair, Rachel Zegler was only parroting the talking points that Disney had given her based on the movie that they, had written and were producing, had greenlit, that they hired her to lead it and represent this new Snow White story. Like, she was not just pulling that stuff out of her ass, and yet she was blamed in a lot of ways for all of it. And yes, Disney suffered massively. The entire movie was a flop. It really caused them to change course in regards to how they were doing these, adaptations. But in a lot of ways, looking back at that story, Disney let Rachel Zegler, hang out to dry. They let her fall on the sword. And so maybe this is her commentary about all of that. Maybe she can't really talk about it. Maybe she doesn't really want to because she feels like it'll just ruin her life once again. But maybe this is her saying, hey, I was used as a scapegoat. My life was ruined. I was publicly, tarred and feathered and hung for something that you chose to do that wasn't just about me. Yes, I was involved in it, but I was the one who had to take the fall. So I do think that that is really interesting. It adds, some cool layers, some tea to her look. And while I do think this is where it gets difficult, while I do think that that is a really unique and interesting take on the theme, any goodwill that I could offer Rachel Zegler was thwarted by what she did on the red carpet. Like, I cannot and will not support this. You need to look at her facial expressions.
Fine, guys.
I mean, is she doing like jaw strengthening exercises? This is insane. Like, and I get that, she's trying to get the perfect look on the red carpet, but you can get the right picture without doing this. Like, you are not helping the accusations that you are full of yourself. Like, is that hot now? Is that what people are doing to look attractive? Is just like jaw mobility? I liked this part where she was like, ooh, cannot take it seriously. So I get what you were trying to say, but unfortunately, once I saw you in action, you dropped low on my totem pole. Anyway, guys, I know that I've gone over some of the looks and that sort of thing, but I do want to end on this note because possibly the greatest revelation, the greatest content to come out of the 2026 Met Gala was this post right here. And I want you guys to know that after, what has it been, a decade or so, we have finally reached the final boss of intersectionality and wokeism right here. Look at this post. Erin Rose Phillip arriving at the Met Gala. First Black transgender woman with quadriplegic cerebral palsy signed to a major agency, breaking barriers with every step. This is what real representation looks like. I mean, how can anybody compete with that? Black, transgender, woman, quadriplegic, cerebral palsy, model. Now I would say that it's breaking barriers with every role, but we don't need to get specific here. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make by bringing this up is that we can just pack it up, honestly. We're done. I mean, no one can compete with that. We have found the most oppressed person of the most oppressed group in the world. And of course, she was at the Met Gala because that is where the oppressed people that deserve all of our support, that is where they go. The LGBTQ community, the quadriplegics, obviously, if you are the most oppressed person, you have to break all barriers. You're gonna be at the Met Gala. So now we can all act accordingly. We have solved this age-old progressive mystery.